Hello, ladies and gents, boys and girls, people of all ages, sexualities, and identities, and welcome back to another Doctor Who review, and we're back with Into the Dalek. So, what is Into the Dalek all about? Well, Dalek, it's about this. The Doctor finds himself floating throughout space when all of a sudden he comes across a ship in distress, and he doesn't like seeing ships in distress, so he tries to help. However, what he realizes soon after is that this ship was fleeing one of the biggest Dalek assaults in history. One of the crew died, and the other one, the sister of the other member, managed to survive due to the Doctor's help. She then explains to the Doctor that on their base they need help with a patient. The Doctor is interested who this patient could be, up until he finds out exactly what they're looking at. A lone Dalek seems to have survived, damaged and wounded, and screaming crazy. The Doctor is asked if he'll go inside of it to figure out exactly what's going on. The Doctor then goes back to Earth to pick up Clara, and Clara begins to walk around and point out that she's his carer. She cares so he doesn't have to. The pair then get shrunk down like Honey, I Shrunk the Kids, and go inside of the Dalek itself. After getting close to the membrane of the Dalek itself, they begin to climb down through layers. But the Dalek's system has a bunch of antibodies, and the soldiers don't take this into account when they begin to get hunted down and slaughtered. The Doctor points out to the crew that they have done something historic because no one in history has ever gotten close enough to a Dalek to do this procedure. The Doctor begins to wonder whether there can ever be a good Dalek. He begins to call the Dalek Rusty as a nickname, but when the Dalek begins to go rogue and shooting around the base, he begins to believe that the Dalek is hopeless of redemption. Dalek explains to the Doctor that it saw a star being born, and when that happened, it realized that the Daleks were no longer worthy of being the great destroyers and conquerors of the universe. However, when it reverts back to the way it was, the Doctor begins to become agitated and gets angry. However, Clara begins to get more angry and point out to the Doctor that he's wrong. There can be a good Dalek, it was proven then and there. The Doctor's not giving it enough time to actually think out what's going on. The Doctor then recreates the star being born, and the Dalek goes back to the way it should be. It goes back to hunting down the Daleks. It leaves the Doctor and Clara on the base, and essentially points out that its new mission is to go round and slaughter every single Dalek it can get its hands on. Essentially, it becomes the predator to the Daleks. The Dalek's last words to the Doctor is that he would make a good Dalek. This petrifies the Doctor because soon after it says this, he realizes exactly what it means. He's becoming too much like them. Too unthinking, too uncold. Maybe if he continues on the way he has been, then he will become the very thing he has sworn to destroy. So, Into the Dalek, what did I think of this episode out of 10? It's a very interesting story and very meta in my opinion. Going into the Dalek itself is crazy because it's definitely an idea that's never been done before. Is it an idea I think they should do again? I'm not quite sure. It's really interesting to see what the Dalek is strung up with the wires and the inside and everything. And seeing the Dalek mutant itself up close is horrifying. I feel like this, as a standalone episode itself, really culminates all the things that we've learned over the years about the Daleks and the way that they've been brainwashed. And to see that personified and used and, pretty much investigated into, I feel like is perfect in this story. And for that reason, I give it a solid 8 out of 10. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you in the next Doctor Who review. Until then, goodbye, stay beautiful, you beautiful people.